Hello, over to the Motorsports Xfinity Series live racing here tonight from the lovely Charlotte Motor Speedway here under the lights for the first race in this chase round, I believe, if I'm not mistaken on that. But these guys are starting to grid up, starting to qualify that bit of a late start by accident. I had some issues setting up the live stream. My apologies there. We appreciate y'all coming out and watching here tonight. Motorsports Xfinity Series. I think some of the partners here of the Motorsports Xfinity Series. First up, Paparazzi's Accessories, along with Suicide Awareness. Also, big shout out to Randy's Wraps, all official partners of the Motorsports Xfinity Series. So, arrive here for race number 26 of the very first season here of the Motorsports Xfinity Series. These guys again starting to grid up here. And looks like we're going to take you through your LCTV starting grid here. These guys have mostly gridded up. Jonathan Zella has been pretty dominant the last few weeks. He's now going to start and pull the 28.711, beating out Justin Wilson with a 28.755. That is your row 1. Row 2 tonight here we have the number 50 machine Jeffrey Meyer and the 3 of Jim Mott. And row 3, the 13 machine of CJ Gates is outside Chase Berry and the number 11 Lego Chevrolet. Behind them in row number 4, Hilton Young and Blaze Tatum. And then riding out the field tonight we have Atchison and Michael Della Sala in that number 6 machine. So right your field here tonight for Motorsports Xfinity Series, as these guys are currently under caution flag, warming up the tires and whatnot, so they get ready to go. Green flag now. Looked way down the back straightaway here before getting set here to go. Green flag racing. We raced Charlotte earlier in the season, however, it was in the daytime, and that race was won by the 58 machine, Justin Wilson. He's actually knocked out of the chase after being inactive for quite a few races. Unfortunately for him, gets knocked out of the chase. The first championship favorite gets knocked out. So now it's from Jonathan Zella, Jeffrey Meyer, CJ Gates, Jim Mott, and Chase Berry are really main favorites going into this final few races of the season. As the pace car is in, we're ready to get started here for race number 26 of the Motorsports Xfinity Series from Charlotte. Green flag's out. We're on the way here from Charlotte. Great restart, or great start, but this is the Justin Wilson. Hands with the 4 machine on the outside. I hope the way through turns 1 and 2. The 4 machine slides up the track just a bit. See it fly by the field right there. Looks like the 4 machine will prevail going down the back straightaway. That's been a half-car length advantage on that number 58. As now go into turns 3 and 4. 4 sliding up the right shook just a bit, but he's going to stay with the 58. Door to door off turn 4. Who will lead this lap? Looks like it might be the 4 across the finish line. Yes. Jonathan Zella will lead the first lap of the race. This is barely over Justin Wilson. They're still side-by-side for first and for third. It looks like now the 4 kind of gets tight in the corner entry, but it's a good corner exit off. Looks like he'll get a huge run off turn 2. Almost clear the 58 machine of Justin Wilson. Jim Mott going to try to follow suit. Oh, Justin Wilson puts in the wall. Oh, there's contact. Chase Berry. And then the wall again goes to 58 of Justin Wilson. What happened? As there's no caution flag, the 58 car is already all tore up here. Does he have some issue? Not sure he had a tire go down or what there. But yeah, he just didn't turn going in the corner, hits the outside wall, rubs Solana, and Chase Berry nowhere to go, gets in the back and gives himself a lot of nose damage, and he kind of just continues to ride the wall. And even hits out on the front straightaway. It looks like he's back up to speed now. Maybe his wheel got disconnected or something there. But anyhow, that would take him pretty much out of the race as far as contention for the win goes. But Jim Mott now right in the rear bumper of Jonathan Zella for the race lead here. Only 1/10 of a second back for John Zeller for the race lead. 5 laps now in the books of 100 here. Now already Jamont kind of running the top lane and arcing it in. Kind of consistent running 2/10 of a second back, but running different lines already. We're going to see which lane kind of prevails as far as the tire fall off goes, whether or not the outside lane saves the tires more or the inside, which is what John Flatel is running. Again, that, but Susie Gates currently in third. You know, Jeffrey Meyer in fourth. Dion running a nice solid top 5. We got Roy Atchison also in 6th. Chase Perry, that nose damage probably affecting his aerodynamics quite a bit, so it's going to probably hurt him for the rest of the night. And unfortunately, even with the option. Oh, we got a car on the grass! Roy Atchison, I was just saying he's having a great night, and I cursed him. I jinxed it. Oh, does he wreck it? Oh, hard hit the outside wall. No cautions. He keeps the car straight, but that will cost them not only a lot of time positions, but a lot of damage on that race car now. For Roy Atchison, let's take a look back at what happened now. To number 88 machine, I'm guessing he probably just either got tight or got loose, and either hit the wall or spun out. Looks like he did end up hitting the outside wall. Off turn 4, so a lot of rest of damage, locks it down, goes through the grass, but just keep the car straight. Then trying to get back off the racetrack, he ends up actually going through the grass. So it's again, he gets the car kicked to the right side, and he ends up in the wall again. Pretty hard hit, but he's still able to continue, of course. Actually, looks like he'll actually head down pit road now. So Rogers is gonna sacrifice his top 6 running position to go on pit road after getting that damage. And unfortunate for him, is now looks like he'll actually go 1 or 2 laps down at this point. So Blaze Tatum now moves up into 8th place. You got Michael De La Sala in 7th, and Chase Berry, that damage now up in 6th. So 10 laps completed here so far from Charlotte. And if I do the math correctly, and I take my guess correctly, I believe stages would be on lap 25 and 50, because that'd be a quarter and halfway. So that's, if that's the way it's set up, then that's when the stages will be. Unfortunately, I was trying to set up the stream when it was announced at the pit meeting, so my apologies there for not getting that information, but Zella just kind of running out front now. 7.5 tenths of a second gap over Jamont, and Chase Berry is 1.7 seconds back. Jeffrey Meyer, Hilton Young, Chase Berry, Michael De La Sala, Blaze Tatum, and Justin Wilson, who had this weird issue going into turn 2 right there. Very interesting there. We're going to try to see if we can get a word in here with him under the stage caution, figure out exactly what happened with that, because I'm really curious as to see what happened. But looks like Roy Atchison has actually stayed on pit road for quite some time. Maybe has to get some damage fixed or something. Maybe got a pit for repairs, black flag, so maybe trying to get some damage fixed or along those lines. Unfortunate for him, he's had a great run, and he's in the chase, so that's going to be pretty crucial with that. We'll see how that goes going forward, of course, but Was off turn 4 here. How much time left to go? We're on board now with a gyro cam on your current race leader, Jonathan Zella. The 1.1 second lead now is Jonathan Zella in its number 4 machine. Or Jim Ott. I got TJ Gates currently in 3rd. Alright, just back here in 4th. Or excuse me, Jeffrey Meyer back in 4th. Oh, well, the into the outside wall. And turns 1 and 2. Looks like it was a light hit, nothing too severe. He does get against the wall. You see the race of damage right there. That's going to happen throughout the night. These cars are going to get really tight once the tires start to fall off, and these guys are going to start to have issues with that right front really wearing out. So now you see Michael De La Salle with a huge run to the inside. This is for 4th place. Michael De La Salle with a great run here tonight. Up and now into 5th place, excuse me. So the good top 5 run for him. Chase Berry actually looks like he'll come down pit road. Again, with all that damage he has, looks like he may have actually gotten to the outside wall at some point. I don't believe that's when they got into Justin Wilson. So it may have gotten tight in the outside wall. It looks like he actually comes down for repairs or something, or fuel only. Justin Wilson also pitting here with a lot of damage from that incident. Looks like he actually take tires. So Atchison back on the racetrack. Blaze Tatum's still currently. Actually, I'm not quite sure. The scoring looks like he's still in 8th. Only that Jonathan Zella out of the race lead. Held down pit road. Gives the race lead over to Jim Ott. So your race leader, Jonathan Zella, has to come down pit road for, I'm guessing, fuel. But I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, the stage ends here in only 4 laps. So it's going to be interesting for sure to see. So he has pretty clean stuff here. Looks like he'll take tires. Hilton Young comes in off of, I believe that was, he was in about 4th place or 5th place. Blaze Tate now coming down pit road out of 8th. Different mile. Looks like he's going to come down pit road. Oh, no, he's out of gas or something. What in the world? I think we might be trying to save gas here. Jeffrey Meyer almost did a complete stop. But the Young goes off pit road here. He's taking, still getting his car fixed here. There's Justin Wilson. Jim Ott now out of the race. He's also going to come on pit road. They're going to come. There's just 2 laps to go in the stage. CJ Gates comes up behind him, almost locks it up, and almost speeds it pit road. Looks like he'll be good to go with that. Michael De La Salle now will pick up the race lead as they come across that finish line. Michael De La Salle will pick up the race lead with just 2 laps to go now in stage number 1, if I'm not mistaken. So now Michael De La Salle has the race lead. You see Jeffrey Meyer coasting behind him, so I believe these guys are going to have to try to make it on fuel to end the stage. He's probably going to get a complete stop. Michael De La Salle now out of the race lead, going on pit road, coming up to just the white flag in stage number 1. So looks like Jeffrey Meyer will have enough fuel to make it here to stage 1. He's one more time around, but then he's going to have to go under a couple caution laps. So he's got to make sure he doesn't run out of fuel under caution. Either have to pit when pit road's closed and get black flagged, or end up running out of gas and having to tow back to the pit. So very risky move here by the 50 machine of Atchison. So off turn number 4, just Wilson to get his lap back. Atchison get one of his back as well. Looks like Jeffrey Meyer now will pick up the stage victory as he's coasting across the finish line.
Caution's out.
There's the caution.
Hey man, your mic.
Another 50 of Jeffrey Meyer.
Just double check that for us, please.
Will pick up the stage victory. So he's coasting around the track right now. he still has fuel. I think he's just trying to save fuel to make sure he doesn't end up running out. And actually, you see Jim on how close he was along John Zella to actually beating the number 50 machine right there. As he's going to really pick up the stage 1 victory. Actually, he'll pit right here under caution. I'll quickly look at your stage results now. Jeff Meyer picks up the stage win. Jim Mott second. John Zella third. CJ Gates fourth. Chase Berry will run out top 5. Hilton Young 6th. Just Wilson 7th. Michael Delasala 8th. Blaze Sam 9th. And Roy Atchison rounds out your field and stage points here tonight. So Jeff Meyer picks up the stage victory, but had a costly move overall. It looks like he's actually sputtering on gas right now, so he's gonna have to pit and make it all the way around, or he's gonna be black flagged. So he's gonna have to pit under green, which is gonna cost him a lot in stage 2. So we're gonna see how this all works out now. As Jim Mott now leads the field, but again, he did not win the stage. So Meyer picks up the stage victory. As now these guys will head down pit road. And to see if anybody decides to take any strategy here. It looks like Michael Delasala will actually stay out on the racetrack. Again, these guys pitted right before the stage caution. He was actually the last one to pit. He pitted just 1 lap before. So he only has 1 or 2 lap older tires than the rest of these guys who are pitting right here. So this could actually play really well, nice for him, as that's actually not going to hurt Roy Atchison, who's going to be getting a wave around. But now he won't be because of the fact that he's currently stuck behind the number 6 machine. He decided to stay out. But now we're going to go word into here with Jeffrey Meyer if we possibly can. Your stage winner here. Jeff Meyer, got a copy.
Yep.
So Jeffrey, pick up the stage victory here, but unfortunately for you, it looks like you're had a pit under pit road closed there because you've run out of gas during the stage caution. Did you get a black flag, or are you good to go?
I got to enter closed pit. I got to go to the end of the line.
Oh, all right. Well, at least it's not a black flag, I suppose. But we saw the fuel mileage there. You really backed it off to save fuel, and you finished just ahead of Jim Mott there and John Fazella to get those bonus points and whatnot. Is that the plan here for stage 2, or how do you feel like the rest of this will go?
No, stage 2 I can run wide open, so we'll see where we end.
All right, well, congratulations on the stage victory, Jeffrey, and we're best of luck in the race. So that's your stage 1 winner here, Jeffrey Meyer. And the number 50 machine. But now Michael Delasala, I believe. Can't tell if he's a lap down or not because it looks like the scoring is a little bit glitched. But it's showing him not out front. It's showing Jim Mott actually as the race leader. So like Michael Delasala went a lap down. I'm guessing by taking 4 tires. So he actually goes a lap down. So he's staying out to get a wave around here, while Jim Mott will actually be the race leader with John Zell second, CJ Gates in third. So this is pretty interesting, as it looks like indeed Michael Delasala will pick up the wave around here, get back on the lead lap. So yeah, he's going to wave around, his pace car lights are out. Everybody gets stacked up with fire once again to go for stage number 2 now. Zalvadella on the outside, your pole sitter, with Jim Mott in first. Unfortunately, I did not get a word in with Justin Wilson under that stage caution, but again, having that weird issue going to turn number 3, just did not turn, and then he couldn't really turn the car all the way until the front stretch. So I'm not quite sure if it's wheel disconnected or if it had a flat tire or what exactly happened to the number 58 machine with that issue, but that's going to damage his race car and hurt his chances of victory here, but he's still not out of it. He's still currently in 4th place, so great rebound by the 58 machine of Justin Wilson. As pace car ready to go back down on the pit road, and Jim Ott lead the field to the green flag here on the restart. He's on the gas, run away once again from Charlotte. To get the speed, great restart by Jim Ott. He gets way ahead of Jonathan Zella and Justin Wilson by a 2-car length advantage now. It's worked their way through turns 1 and 2. Once at the start of the race, get the 4 on the inside of 58 on the outside, but this time the 4 prevails, taking advantage of the 58's damage right there. So Jonathan Zella now will hold on to 2nd, and now sets the sights on Jim Ott, who's currently the race leader. Let's go to turn 4 to left for the straightaway. Looks like Jim Ott will lead that time by, of course, and that marks 30 laps completed here and 70 laps to go from Charlotte. It's very close for 2nd. Just Wilson all over the rear bumper of just Jonathan Zella. And hard to get the top 3 all starting with Jay, but 2 tenths of a second gap now between 1st and 2nd. Oh, the 4 gets loose and he saves it. Great driving by Jonathan Mazzella, but now that will cost him 2nd place. Potentially even 3rd as there comes CJ Gates now around the outside. Well, CJ Gates though gets kind of tight, a little bit scrolling the entry of the corner, but he's going to get a huge run off turn 2 here. Looks like he'll pull around the outside of the 4 of Jonathan Mazzella. He's not going to pretty much drop like a rock being stuck on the outside. Let's see if he can squeak up ahead of Chase Berry here, or if he'll lose another position. Sorry, all the way back to 4th place now. Looks like he'll fall and settle into that position. If we look back at what happened to that 4 machine, they would get so sideways. So go here into the corner. Looks like I can't tell if it was contact. It doesn't look like there was contact. It looks like there was a bit of netcode right there because you see him. Looks like he got hit, but he never actually got touched by Justin Wilson. So a bit of netcode is going to cost him a lot of time there, but he did a great save. Pretty much saved his race against 68. Now it looks like he's going to go back around the outside. He's using Gates for that 3rd position. Side by side through turns 1 and 2. The 4 will prevail on the outside lane. Just Wilson and that beat out number 58 machine in 2nd. Very close. He got to the right there is John Fazella. You know, every inch of the racetrack as possible. As we only have 14 laps to go now in stage number 2. Jim Ott has cruised out to a 3/10 of a second lead over Justin Wilson, who is now getting cop of that 4 machine of Jonathan Fazella. And we have Zella with a peek to the inside of Justin Wilson for that 2nd position. There's a bit more aggressive line through turns 1 and 2. It's a good run off turn 2. Now it looks to the inside of Justin Wilson for 2nd place. Looks like he'll get up to his corner panel. He's going to wash the racetrack right here. We're going to see what happens. He's going to wash the racetrack just a bit. Still gets a pretty decent run right now off turn number 4. Couldn't quite get the job done there, but not that far behind. Feather in the throttle through turns 3 and 4. Still just about 10th behind Justin Wilson. He's only half second behind our race leader Jim Ott. guys continuing now to kind of fall into a groove. So like I said, another good run, and just Wilson right here off turn number 2. Gonna look to the inside, but does he have anywhere to go with it, or wash back up the racetrack? So currently right on board with him. But as the throttle tries underneath him again, he has to check up. Oh, he's gonna slide up into the outside of Justin Wilson, so he's gotta be careful not to do that when he tries to make a pass. It's really hard to make a pass here at Charlotte on the bottom, especially when you're on old tires, because there's no grip really left underneath her to support that move. He gets a huge run on the outside. Justin Wilson goes up with a block, shuts the door on John Dillon, and then comes back with it crossover almost. The inside he goes, because then got tight, washed it up the racetrack just a bit, but he still has an edge on him right here, still up to his door. Does he have it going through turns 1 and 2? He has a bit of a bad entry though. He didn't arc the corner just enough. That's going to cost him a lot of time here in exit. But Justin Wilson actually gets tight on the outside. Looks like Jonathan Dillon now will take that spot. So that 4 machine now moves himself up into 2nd place. But while these guys have been battling, Jim Mott is kind of just driving away at this point. Oh, the 58 almost in the back of the 4 right there. Somehow these guys didn't make any contact. Now John Bozello will move up into 2nd place with 8 laps to go now in stage 2, but he's 6.5 tenths of a second gap. 6.5 tenths of a second behind Jim Mott, your current race leader. So want to see that gap continues to shrink at all, or if the 3 machine could kind of keep it steady or even potentially gain time on this 458. Seven laps to go now. Bozello is, I believe, catching that 3 machine just a little bit. It was 6 tenths of a second. Now it's down to pretty much half a second. So that 3 better be looking in his mirror and their relative, and keeping up with how close that 4 is in relative to him. But interesting to see if his 4 machine can catch up to him or not. And even if he does, can he get around him in time before just Wilson makes something happen right behind him? CJ Gates also not that far back, currently in 4th. Then comes Jeffrey Meyer, Chase Berry, Hilton Young, Michael De La Sala. Roy Atchison has had a tough night, currently scoring in 10th place, 5 laps down. Actually, Blaze Tate looks like he is retired from the racetrack. Oh, no, he's not. He's on pit road. But he's currently scored 4 laps down, but I go 5 this time by, so not quite sure what's wrong with that 23 machine, but he's currently on pit road. Is only 3 tenths of a second gap now for 1st and 2nd place. Down to 2 tenths of a second gap now between 1st and 2nd. Jim Mott getting caught by that 4 machine of Jonathan Bozello. Only about a car length behind him now as we'll go into turn 3. Kind of just 3 laps to go now in stage 2. Does he have enough to get around the 3 of Jim Mott here in the closing laps of this stage? Gonna run a little bit lower line here in turns 1 and 2. Gets a huge run off turn 2, but doesn't really have anywhere to take it. Now he's right there on the rubber of Jim Mott. Gonna get the 2 to go. Signal this time by. Oh, we missed up just a bit though in turns 3 and 4. It's gonna cost us some time to Jim. Just Wilson is now falling over a second behind these guys, so it's really just a 2-man battle for this stage victory. Fuel isn't a question, and nobody else can come into play unless these guys wreck each other, so. Into turns number 3 and 4. Seems like Jonathan's better in 1 and 2, but Jim's kind of better in 3 and 4. I sort of learned here just a bit. Right there, only 1 car left behind him now. we go. Gonna look to the low side here. It's a good run off turn 2. He's right there on the left rear corner pin off Jim Ott. What's going to happen now in 3 and 4? Jim Ott clear once again up to 4. The 4 is going to try to sit up for the pass and exit the corner here. He's going to push it hard into the corner. Oh, but he clips the apron. He's not going to be enough. Jim Ott off turn 4 will win stage number 2 now from Charlotte.
Caution, caution.
So Jim Ott will pick up the stage victory in that Xfinity number 3 Chevrolet Camaro. He had to hold off Jonathan Zella there for quite some time, but that'll wrap up stage number 2. As he goes to the pace car by, his pace car wants to go out and test the top speed of that machine. There it is. It's doing some jumps and rallycross as well, but quickly look at your stage results now. Top to bottom, Jim Ott pick up the stage victory. Jonathan Zella second. Just Wilson third. CJ Gates, Jeff Meyer, Chase Berry, Michael De La Sella. Put the young Roy Atchison, Blaze Tatum, but as a background right there, you saw Just Wilson spin out coming to pit road. What in the world happened to that 58 machine? He's got most of the damage fixed after that lap 2 incident. But we're going to take a look at that after pit road here. After the pit stops occur. As Jonathan Zella will be off pit road first. Jim Ott gets in to have a bit of a slow pit stop right there. Looks like he'll roll off in second, however. Now let's see everybody else going to get their damage fixed and whatnot. Just Wilson off third. Susie Gates will come off in fourth, but again, I'm curious to see what is likely to happen there coming to pit road. I'll take a look at the replay now. Let's take a look what happened to that 58 machine. And we saw the checkup for everybody trying to wait up for the pace car to let the pace car back by. Pit road got open. Looks like Just Wilson was trying to not lose any time when on pit road. He was trying to catch up to Just Wilson, and he just when he went from the transition of the banking to the apron, he ended up spinning that car out. But he walks it down, doesn't hit anything. Certainly odd for sure, but looks like that was the cause of the 58 machine going around. It's back live now from Charlotte. I'll get a word in here with your stage winner, Jim Ott, if possible. I want to see if I can get him in here. Unfortunately, we cannot get him into the Discord call, but it's okay. All is well. There's Just Wilson. Having a pretty interesting night so far. We're interested to see if he can still pull off a good finish here. He's currently running in third place, so he's having a good run. Nevertheless, the fact that he didn't turn going to the corner because of some sort of issue on like lap number 2 or 3, and battling for the race lead, and now just spun out on pit road, but he's still in third place, so definitely knows how to wheel a race car for sure, but so basically lights are out, ready to go. Suck up, double fire. Once again, Michael De La Sala gonna get another wave around. So just Wilson lead the field to, excuse me, Jamal lead the field to the green flag here. And let's quickly take a look at your race summary here tonight. So far, as we're already a little bit past halfway, 50 laps completed, 6 lead changes, only 2 caution flags, both of those being stage cautions, but green flags out and away once again from Charlotte. A great reset with the front row, just Wilson and Jim Mont working together. An amazing restart, leaving the field in the dust behind them. As John Lazilla actually... Oh, he must have bit it again. Some strategy. John Lazilla comes back down pit road. He was the race leader, but he decided to come back down pit road. Put some extra fuel in the tank, so maybe he can now make it on just 1 pit stop instead of 2. That would be my guess is what his strategy is here. These guys go and make it about 23, 24 laps on fuel, so it's going to be interesting to see how this works out for him. But strategy already come into play here, but currently out front is just Wilson and the Jim Mont and the number 3 machine, just Wilson about 0.4 of a second behind him. His Blaze team, I believe, currently on pit road still. Can't quite see. Nope, looks like he is officially retired from the race, so not quite sure what happened with the 23 machine, but Double now working his way underneath Hilton for that 4th position now. They're side by side. Gates trying to work his way through the field as well. I believe he must have also pitted. So it looks like both of them will get around that 38 machine of Hilton Young. Is now Chase Berry looking to get around just Wilson for 2nd. Number 11 machine, 58 got into it earlier when the 58 couldn't turn in the corner, and nowhere for 11 of Chase Berry to go. Looks like the 11 will make the move, and just Wilson will try to cross over, but ends up just bumping him and staying in line behind him instead. So as these guys all bunched up, pretty sketchy for sure. These guys gotta make sure not to make any contact and wreck, but now down low on Justin Wilson for that 3rd position. And CEO, 58 pinches to 4, very close right there. He turns 3 and 4. Let's work the way off of 4, go through the tri-oval. All that's battling for 2nd and 3rd is just letting that 3 machine get way out front. As now it was just Wilson looking to the outside. Chase Berry, he has a nose with 11 and shuts the door on him. Box is in behind now. Here comes John Lazilla back down low to try to take that 3rd position away. But CJ Gates looking on with him. 4 on the bottom, 58 on the top. Continue to work around 1.45 mile speedway here. Door to door down the back straightaway. 4 now on the left for corner pin actually of the 58. He's right there, but he just can't quickly get the pass because he gets so tight in the corners. He has to lift to avoid sliding up the racetrack, and he just doesn't get the fastest way off the corners. Now Chase Berry looks down low. He's going to try to cut off. They're going to go 3 wide. Or no, the 11 cuts off the 58, Justin Wilson, going to turn 1, and the 58 backs out knowing that would just be a wreck, so he's going to try to pull across over there. Goes down low, Chase Berry, but CJ Gates is right there. He's looking for a corner panel. So now John Lazilla looks like he'll move up into 2nd place. Just Wilson trying to get around Chase Berry now for 3rd. John Lazilla going to secure 2nd as very close right there. 11 almost hits the outside wall. There goes CJ Gates down low on Chase Berry for that 4th position. They're side by side coming off turn 2 now. Looks like that 13 slides up right in front of the 11. Here goes Chase Berry with a crossover. He gets into the left for corner pit of CJ Gates, but he saves it. Oh, a little bit more contact right there. CJ's probably not very happy. Now he was Chase Berry going to go down low on CJ. Try to make that pass. Oh, and he turns him! Oh, and he saves it again! Oh my goodness. Chase Berry turns CJ Gates sideways. You have to look back what happened here in the LCD replay. As now CJ Gates goes around, holds the on once again here. But yeah, the contact between 11 and 13, we saw it. And turns number 3 and 4 to 11, gets in the left corner pin on CJ Gates. But now right here, he gets tight, slides way up the racetrack, gets into the side of the 13. The 13 drifts it, never stops driving it, corrects it in a perfect manner, and keeps the car pointed in the right direction. Great save by the 13 of CJ Gates. He's there to ride on board with Chase Berry. Yeah, it just gets into him, slight contact. It's all stuck to him sideways, but okay, for CJ Gates, he was able to save it, and great save at that. He's not going to go onto the helmet cam here. Just look at the steering wheel to the right. Just turns sideways, corrects it to the right, to the throttle, and keeps it going straight. Great save by CJ Gates, but I'm sure when he catches back up to this 11, he probably might show his displeasure here. With that number 11 machine. So interesting to see how that works out, of course, but obviously probably not very happy with that 11 with the move he made there. But anyhow, Justin Wilson currently out front here on a complete lap 66 this time by. And the pit window going to open here in about 10 or so laps would be my guess. These guys pitted, of course, on lap 50. Lap 50 when the stage caution came out, so add a couple laps to that, and you're looking at when they went green flag, so that's about how much fuel they've burned. So say from 53, so it's 14. Yes, these guys are going to go about 8 or 9 more laps on this tank of fuel, so that's the sort of strategy kind of comes into play here. 8 or 9 more laps, so it puts us around lap 75, 76. So that will put us with about 25, 24 to go. Now the strategy for Jonathan Vizela looks like it might be the right one, as he's coming to find himself in second place. Is now CJ Gates has caught Chase Berry. We're going to see if there's any payback here, if he decides to pass him clean. There goes the 13. It looks down low on Chase Berry. And it looks like he might go on through and take that spot cleanly. Which, of course, is a smart thing to do. You know, obviously, if you're the faster car, no point going back there and taking the person out, or, you know, even risking taking yourself out. So, for CJ Gates not to get heated there and to retaliate. So, smart job there by CJ Gates and everybody there. But John Zilla only 1.2 seconds back, and I believe he only has to pit once, so everybody else is going to have to pit twice unless they save fuel. But again, these guys will only go about 23 to 24 laps on a tank of gas at the most. So if we go, these guys go until, if Jumpzilla can make it to lap 75 or 76 before heading on pit road, they can't make it in the race on just that one pit stop. However, he was the only person to come back down pit road to top off on fuel. So that means he does not have to really save that much fuel, if any at all. Whereas the Slurpee should, in order to make it to the end on just one stop, will have to do that. So we saw this happen last week at Richmond. John Fazella actually came back down pit road, got the fuel back in the tank, and won the race on fuel mileage. So this all being right after Las Vegas, where he was the dominant car, didn't come back down pit road after the stage caution. Jeffrey Meyer and Atchison did. They ended up finishing 1-2. John Fazella came third. So pretty much he took that, learned from it, went did the same exact thing at Richmond, got the victory there, and pretty much stole from Justin Wilson. And now it looks like he might do the same thing here to Jim Ott in that number 3 machine, as he came back down pit road on fuel, and the way this is playing out, it looks like he only has to pit once in his final stage without having to save fuel, and he's gaining on Jim Ott on pace. So it's definitely pretty interesting, as we're going to run on board with the 3 machine to see if he is saving fuel or not. Whether or not he even knows that he has to try to stretch the field as much as possible. Played 49 laps of the 72 completed here so far. 1/9 of a second back is John Fazella, so Either way, this strategy pays out for Jonathan, whether or not he can make it on fuel. He still has a chance to win this race, whichever way you look at it. So, Jonathan, ever since the chase started, he's been dominating. Won Atlanta, the second race of the season, but he didn't really race most of the season. All of a sudden, he showed up to Darlington, won that race. Went to Indianapolis, won there, won back-to-back with Las Vegas, dominated the boss because of fuel mileage. Won last week on fuel mileage. He's won 3 of the last 4 races, and that 4th one he dominated. So he's definitely showing himself to be a championship favorite in this chase so far here in the Motorsports Xfinity Series. Is again only 9/10 of a second back from race leader Jim Mott. So it'll be interesting to see now for sure if Jim Mott can stretch his fuel 1 or 2 more laps. If he can do that, he knows for a fact he'd make it the rest of the way on fuel. As next time by will mark 25 to go, these guys can only go about 24 laps on fuel. So 24 laps on fuel, you're looking really without saving. So as Michael De La Salle having some issues, and number 6 machine on the apron, looks like he is indeed out of harm's way, maybe out of fuel. As Jim Mott head down pit road out of the race lead. Your race leader, Jim Mott, head down pit road. Looks like he locks it up just in the right amount of time. Looks like he will not speed on pit road, so good pit road entry for Jim Mott as he's led 51 laps so far here. And that gives the race lead over. Chase Berry comes down pit road as well. CJ Gates rolls out of his stop. Brian Atchison also down pit road, but he's several laps down. Justin Wilson out of 3rd. He'll head down pit road. Hilton Young out of 4th. He'll pit. Michael De La Salle looks like, in fact, he's out of fuel, so he's going to coast his way into pit road at like 5 miles an hour. Tough break for that number 6 entry, and yeah, it looks like he won't even make it to his pit stall. So he's going to have to tell you, good job now. The race leader down pit road. When he crosses the finish line, it will be 24 to go. So he has just enough fuel to make it in this race without having to really save it all. So he's pretty much good. Either way, he was only 1/8 of a second back before that pit stop cycle started here from Jim Mott. So it's going to be interesting for sure to see. Here comes Jeffrey Meyer now, also down pit road. There's there John Pizzella. Both the tires are done. He's going to roll off here to see where Jim Mott ends up. Might be him right there. That's just Wilson, actually. Just Wilson now will pick up the race lead, it looks like. He's going to blow past number 4 of Just Wilson. Of Jonathan Zella. Jim Mott will get up in a second. So now the 4 machine is only back to 3rd. However, again, he can make it all the way out of fuel without any issues whatsoever. So Just Wilson actually pitted before all of these guys, and now comes out with the race lead for now. Again, however, he's about 1 or 2 laps short at this point. So he's going to be forced to either pit or save fuel. So this puts him in a pretty bad position compared to John Pizzella or even Jim Mott, who pitted. Oh, Just Wilson looks like he may have got the outside right there. I'm pretty sure. It was definitely very close. Yeah, he's saving fuel. Listen to the RPMs here. Listen to the front straightaway full speed across the finish line, works his way to turn 1 and clutch. That right there is fuel saving mode at its finest. He's putting the clutch in, it basically turns the engine off into idle mode. That's how he's saving fuel. Jim Mott goes underneath him for the race lead because he's not saving fuel because he's only 1 lap short, if anything. So these guys are side by side. Just Wilson trying to save fuel to make it end of the race. Zella only about a second back here as Jim Mott underneath Just Wilson now for the race lead with 21 laps to go. Will we see the 3rd fuel mileage race in a row? That is the question. As it looks like Jim Mott now will work his way around Just Wilson for the race lead. And he has an extra lap of fuel more than that 58 machine of Just Wilson. Look out from Just Wilson with the crossover back down low. But it looks like he'll wash with the racetrack, not quite get there. It's John Pizzella not that far back, only 0.6 of a second in 3rd. And again, he can make it the rest of the way on fuel with maybe just a slight bit of fuel saving, as we only have 20 laps to go now from Charlotte. Again, Las Vegas was actually go all the way back to Indianapolis, second chase race of the season. Jonathan Zella dominated the race, but accidentally pitted a lap before Jim Mott, and he was actually a lap short on fuel. So he had to save a lot of fuel at the end of the race to save that extra lap of fuel. and he still managed to pull out just in front of Jim Ott at the race finish. So he managed to finish the race with just enough fuel. Granted, you know, it was technically a fuel mileage race at the end of it, but he had the car to beat anyway. But here goes John now for second place underneath Justin Wilson, as the 58 goes into full fuel conservation mode. Just John gonna go down low and try to get around him for that second position. With just looks like 18 laps to go from Charlotte. Jumpzilla up into P2 here with the most amount of fuel out of all these guys, these top 3 competitors. So actually Jeffrey Meyer, we got a car on the grass. Michael Della Salle locks it down. He's in the infield, so he's out of harm's way. Looks like he'll actually roll down pit road to lock it up and go into his pit stall here potentially. Indeed he will. So look at Della Salle with some issues there. As far as Atchison was going to go another lap down here, he's having a really rough night. Trying to score 9th place, 7 laps down as number 88. Gonna continue to cruise around the racetrack here. We're going to see who's going to let Jumpzilla by here. He's only half second back now from Race Jim Ott. But again, Indianapolis came down to Jumpzilla having to save fuel because he actually pitted too early. He was able to do it, won the race. Las Vegas dominated the race. Ron Atchison and Jeffrey Meyer both pitted back down pit road again with 1 to green to get fuel in the tank on the stage caution. They ended up finishing 1-2. Jeffrey Meyer winning the race for Atchison coming second. And Jumpzilla was gaining fast for that second place, but only was able to recover to third. Learned his lesson, went to Richmond, pitted under the stage caution, ended up winning the race, beating out Justin Wilson. And has done the same thing here tonight at Charlotte. Was the car to beat anyhow. Sat on pole with the first quite a few laps. But with 14 laps to go, he has an extra lap in that 3 machine on fuel. And he's only 3 tenths of a second back either way you look at it. So that 4 machine, he is closing onto that race lead fast. And he's got an extra lap of fuel. So he's got 2 things going for him right here. Only 2 tenths of a second back as we are coming to 12 laps to go this time by. Jumpzilla with the fastest race car in qualifying. And he has an extra lap in the tank, more than that 3 machine does of Jim Ott. So we're going to see exactly how this works out here as just a second back gap between first and second place. Now down to a 10th and a half. Jumpzilla reeling into that 3 machine of Jim Ott. The pressure is on for the 3 of Jim Ott. 10 laps to go here from Charlotte, but does he have enough fuel in the tank in the first place? Ten laps to go from Charlotte. 15 miles. As we work around, and CJ Gates is going a lap down, it looks like. There comes John Zilla. Right there behind him. Further than the throttle. 8 laps to go now from Charlotte. We're having yet another awesome finish here in the chase. Every race so far in this chase has been amazing. This is gaining time on him here, 1 and 2. The question is, once again, the question still remains, does the 3 have enough fuel? Zilla gets a good run through 3 and 4, but only a car length back, 1/10 of a second separates your race leaders with just 7 laps to go from Charlotte here. We saw this at the end of stage 2. Zilla caught Jim Mott, but was not able to pass him. Kind of got stuck in that dirty air and just got stuck right behind him, about a 10th of a second gap. And he tried and tried and tried, but could not get around the 3 machine for the stage victory. But now can he do it for the race victory? That's the question. But I think if anything, the pass will have to be on the outside with 6 laps to go now from Charlotte. You just can't pass the inside unless that guy makes a huge mistake. It gets a good run through 1 and 2, but again, that 3 kind of hold on to that top lane. I don't think he's going to have enough unless he goes to the outside to make that pass, because of the fact that it's just, he's so tight in the body. He washed way up the racetrack, so unless he ends up taking out the 3 machine here, it's not going to be enough as we work the way through 3 and 4. 5 laps to go now. If caution comes out, race will be over. But I don't think that'll happen in the first place. Has not had any incident cautions so far here, just 2 first stage cautions. Zilla running the low lane. Jim Mott running the defensive line on the outside. The 3 might have enough fuel. Again, it was super close, and I think he might just have enough, but it's going to be very, very close. He might have run out on the last lap. Four to go now from Charlotte. Just 6 miles. There goes the 4 of Zilla. Right there on the rear bumper of Jim Mott, but does he have enough of a run to make this work? Again, I still think he's going to have to go to the outside, but Jim Mott knows that, and he's running the outside to defend that line. Here's Zilla, huge head of steam into turn 3. Gets a good run off turn 4, peeks the inside of Jim Mott. He has the nose in there. But again, he cannot really make that pass on the bottom that easily. It's just too tight. As he goes to the inside, he's going to try here. Goes door to door now with Jim Mott. For a side-by-side off turn 2, he managed to stick it. Here he goes. No, we couldn't quite get it done right there. 2 to go now from Charlotte. Just 3 more miles of racing around this 1.5 mile track. He's going to have to find a way around him here in the last 2 laps, unless that 3 machine runs out of fuel. Is the bumper coming to play? Mile and a half or not. Got it back straight away. Lap traffic ahead, but I don't think it'll be a factor. There they go into 3 and 4. Oh, Jim Mott overshoots the corner. Jim Mott overshoots the corner. And now Zilla blow past him. And Zilla pick up the race lead here. Oh, Jim Mott wrecks. Jim Mott wrecks out of the race lead. And Zilla now finds himself in the race lead with just 1 lap to go. He has enough fuel in the tank. Down the back straight for the final time. He won last week at Richmond on fuel mileage. It's won 3 to the last 4, and make that the 4 out of the last 5. Zilla puts a spanking on the field there once again from Charlotte. And Zilla come across the finish line. He'll win here, race number 26. What a finish. Once again, Jonathan Bozzella picking up the victory here from Charlotte. And what a finish. It looks like you actually might be out of gas here, so unfortunately can't do burnouts for like the... Oh, maybe? No, I think it's sputtering. I think you might be out of gas. Yeah, he's definitely out of gas. So Tom Zella runs out of gas. So unfortunately no celebrations, but what a finish. So let's take a look back at what happened here between his 4 and 3 machines here now. So you see the 3 on the outside, he just... We'll go down pit road and just lost control. Oh, he spins in the opening of the wall, and that pretty much destroys his car. And I guess he just was not too happy and decided just to put it on the wall there. So looks like he was short on fuel by just that one lap. That one lap that John Zilla came back down pit road under that stage to get. And that's what cost him the victory, Jim Mott. Go back live now. Looks like we're in here with your top few finishers. So I'm going to talk with your third place finisher, Jeffrey Meyer, in the number 50 machine. So I'm working it with him. Jeffrey Meyer, got a copy.
Yes, I do.
So Jeffrey, pick up with a podium finisher tonight. We need only 2 laps, but a solid night for you. We saw the fuel strategy once again here for like the 3rd race in a row. You and the 4 machine both come back down pit road to top off on fuel. That brings out with a good finish for both of you guys. Stuck with the strategy there at the end and what you knew you had to do.
Yeah, I couldn't push it any harder. I ran out coming to the checkered flag. Just as I crossed the line, she sputtered. So it was pretty much all I had.
Yeah, we saw, of course, the fuel strategy there for the victory in stage 1. So fuel was definitely going your way here tonight. And as you continue, obviously with the races here in the chase, we get closer and closer to the season finale at Homestead. Do you feel like that race will go well for you, or do you feel like you can, work your way up through there in the chase?
Well, I think every race is going to be close to a few mileage race, just because of the way the race is set up. So we're gonna be doing this every week, I think.
Alrighty, well, any sponsors, shout-outs, thank yous, and sponsors want to thank you who brought you home to a 3rd place finish.
Thanks.
Alright, congratulations on 3rd, Jeffrey, and have a good night.
Thank you.
Looks like unfortunately we cannot get in with your 2nd place finisher, Justin Wilson, and the number 58 machine. I'm trying to look to see here. Unfortunately, it looks like he'll not be able to get into the Discord call with us, so that's unfortunate. But we're now going to bring in your race winner, John Pizzella, and the number 4 machine. John Pizzella, got a copy.
Yes, sir, I do.
So, Jonathan, we continue on with this fuel strategy game here at the end of the races, and you managed to pull it off for 2 weeks in a row, but either way, looks like you pretty much had the car to beat. Started on pole, led 24 laps, and ended up winding here with the victory after a pretty exciting finish with you and Jim Ott. Let's talk about your strategy there and what you knew how to do to come back down pit road there in that stage caution, make sure you get back to the end of the race on fuel.
Well, it seems like the same story every week. You got to double pit, and then you got to coast around for 10 laps on fuel to make it to the end. And I'm kind of hoping for a change. We need to start off with some more fuel, because me and Jim had an epic battle going. For him to run out of gas, it's kind of makes the win feel worthless.
Yeah, and you know, this is about the fourth race in a row now. We've seen fuel come into play at the end of it. Indianapolis, Las Vegas, and Richmond last week, and of course here tonight. But you know, obviously, either way, did you feel like you had the car to beat, or was Jim putting up a good fight?
I think I was definitely a little faster than Jim, but he had the track position, and that was more important. I believe if he didn't run out of fuel, I could not have got around him. I was trying everything I could to pass him before he ran out of fuel, just for bragging rights, but he was holding me off really well. So it sucks that it comes down to a fuel mileage race again. We need to make a change. Another gallon and a half will be perfect.
Yeah, we saw a lot of guys really get tight on the bottom. We saw contact between Chase Berry and CJ Gates, sent the 13 machine kind of sideways, and it seemed like the inside lane was really impossible to pass on these old tires. You kind of just got tight washed at the racetrack, and you had to back out of it to avoid wrecking the guy on the outside. So was that what's kind of happening with you there, trying to pass the three, or did you just not have the run off the corner?
Yeah, the Xfinity cars in general are tight, and I like it that way. It allows me to save tires. Like you see me every weekend save tires, and the more you try to turn against the tight, the more tight it gets. So it plays into my favor personally. So that's why I was a little bit faster than him on the long run.
Alrighty, we're any special shout outs, thank yous, and sponsors that bring home the victory lane here tonight.
Definitely LCTV for hosting, Atchison Motorsports for setting up the races. Just want to leave off with saying we need 2 more gallons. It has to change.
Alrighty, that's a Mr. Sully going right there. But congratulations on the victory here, Jonathan, and talk to you later.
Thanks, buddy. Have a good night.
Alrighty, as your race winner here tonight, John Mazzella in the number 4 machine. As now we're gonna take a look at the results here, top to bottom. So pretty on the victory here tonight, John Mazzella for the second week in a row, and the 4th win for him out of the last 5 races, all it being in the chase. So John Mazzella picks up the victory. Justin Wilson, another second place finish here tonight. Jeff Meyer 3rd, Chase Berry 4th, with the end of the first car, 1 lap down, and 5th, G. Gates, and 6th, Mont. We saw battling with John Mazzella there for the race lead, but ran out of fuel, went down pit road, and then ended up spinning out and crashing and just disconnecting. So it's a break for him there at the end of the race. He finished his 7th, 2 laps down. Michael De La Salle had a really up and down night, ran really well. Looks like he was in contention for a stage victory, but had to pit. And a lot of really up and downs for him tonight, but unfortunately at the end of the race it comes down with a down. He's going to finish at 8th, 7 laps down for Atchison right there behind him. And then Blaze Tatum disconnected after only about 50 laps, or 40 laps, excuse me. So Blaze Statement will be 61 laps down in 10th place. And that runs out your field here tonight. So I'm going to send it off here. A quick shout out to Roy Atchison's wife. Actually, it's her birthday today, so wish her happy birthday if you are friends with her on Facebook and whatnot. So she also helps run the league and whatnot, and sponsors the league with her paparazzi accessories. So wish her a happy birthday, and everybody at LCTV and National Motorsports, of course. And appreciate you all watching here tonight. Of course, Tuesday night, if everything goes to plan, we will be broadcasting TBR Truck Series. Unfortunately, again, last week, not enough participants to be able to stream it. So hopefully this week we can get enough. I'm not quite sure where we're going. Let me quickly check here where we're going for that race. That will be at Watkins Glen. So if all goes well, we're going to Watkins Glen and broadcasting that Tuesday night. But if that does not happen, we'll be broadcasting Friday night, the iRacing E-Series once again. And that one, I'm absolutely no idea where we're going. I think we may be going to Daytona in the trucks. I know it's in the trucks. I think it's Daytona. So that's my... I think that's what's happening on Friday. So make sure you come out and watch that on Friday, of course. Saturday, again, Bonehead Racing League. This time we're heading to Talladega for the first race in the chase, actually. I guess the whole confusion just kind of got ended, so we kind of settled it a little easier. And I believe Talladega is the first race in the chase, the first race of the round of 12. So make sure you come out, watch that. Talladega Super Speedway Racing. First time we've broadcasted that for that league since their very first ever race on LCTV for the recruitment race and whatnot. So fun to have that. Again, next week we'll be heading to Dover for the Motorsports Xfinity Series. Make sure you check us out. Check that out, 8:40 p.m. Eastern Time. Once again, as always, and we appreciate watching here tonight, as always. And LCTV signing out.